Okay, I'm excited for this one. Here we have World Subregion Battle Royale. So, I divided the world into X amount of subregions. And yeah, so subregions kind of hard to define. Some continents have a lot, some don't. In Asia, we have the pretty basic ones. We have the Middle East, Central Asia, East Asia, South Asia, and Southeast Asia. I think that's pretty obvious. Oceania, despite it being a continent by most standards, isn't big enough to be split into subregions. In Africa, we have North, West, South, East, and Central. In Europe was a bit harder. We have Western, Eastern, and it's not really Central Europe, but these are kind of countries which they're not in Western Europe, but I also can't put them in Eastern Europe. So it's kind of like a Middle Europe region, not really Central Europe, because there's like the Balkans, Finland, which isn't really Central Europe. But yeah, not Western, not Eastern Europe, but otherwise Western, Eastern Europe, blah, blah, whatever. In North America, and in the Americas, there's only three regions. There's North America, Central America, and the Caribbean, and South America. So right off the bat, some regions are very powerful, particularly South America, North America, South Asia, and East Asia are all very powerful regions, plus I guess Western Europe. Yeah, but mainly North America and East Asia, and I guess South Asia, are very powerful. So, this is a free-for-all. This will probably also take a while. So the first thing that happens is the Americas agree to partition the Caribbean. So basically, it's quick. North America is first. Is that the correct color? No, it's good. I think it is. Basically, North America takes everything on the mainland, while South America takes the Caribbean. Is this the correct color? Don't really care. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of is the correct color. That was pretty quick, by the way. These are relatively weak nations, and there's not really much they could do against the powers of the Americas. So, North and South America, they're kind of alone, so they're gonna be in, like, constant war throughout this whole video. Yeah. And until one of them is able to take over all of the Americas, there's not going to be much foreign interference. The other quick thing that happens is that, Middle Europe gets partitioned by Central and Southern Europe, by Central and Western Europe. Western Europe takes Poland and the Balkans, while Eastern Europe manages to take the Baltic states and Finland. Due to the fact that Western Europe was faster, they were able to get more, which might prove to be helpful. We'll see. By the way, as regions get eliminated, I might be switching some colors for simplicity. Yeah, because I believe that's actually the wrong color for Western Europe. But I don't really care. That's the correct color. Okay, two regions have been eliminated, but now we have the, one more really weak region, and that's East Africa. East Africa, not weak because, it doesn't have many countries. I also excluded a lot of the East African Federation. But for simplicity, Central Africa is able to get Kenya. Central Africa takes Kenya. Southern Africa takes Tanzania. And North Africa takes Ethiopia and Somalia. Okay, good. Now and Central Asia. Okay, fine. Then and Oceania. Central Asia is a bit, Central Asia is a weak region, yeah. Forces from the Middle East, nope, wrong color. Forces from the Middle East push into the Turkmenistan and Uzbekistan, as well as this part of Kazakhstan. Eastern European forces push in, no, wrong color. Eastern European forces push into Kazakhstan and Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, whatever that one is. And South Asian forces managed, which color is that? Nope. How do I do this? South Asian forces push into, what's it called? South Asian forces push into Afghanistan and Tajikistan. That is, if I can find the color. You know what, screw this, that is the correct color. Okay. Now most pretty weak regions have, okay, seriously, there's a problem. I need to find the color. Is this it? No, what? I'm so confused. I think it was like black, right? Yeah, it's black. Okay, good. Now most weak regions have been partitioned. The only other weak region that I'd say is left is Oceania. However, Southeast Asia is the only bordering region, so it's going to be a bit harder for them to take it over. However, a push does start into the island of Papua, or whatever the island's called, New Guinea, I don't really know. And, oh my god, this is very annoying. What color is that? Is that this one? No. Yeah, basically they take the island of Papua. I'm just gonna pretend that's the correct color. However, the rest of Oceania, they become a naval power and basically defend their shores really well. Meanwhile, the war in the Americas is still going strong. North America does make minor progress, however, by taking Cuba, Haiti, and the Bahamas, and the Dominican Republic. So they don't want to. There's obviously the Darien Gap like here, so it's hard to invade. Yeah, there is. They also invade Iceland. Now this is a big mistake, as now Western Europe is really mad. So Western Europe forms our first alliance of the video with South America. There's going to be a lot of alliances, so it might be hard to keep track of, but Western Europe forms an alliance with South America, causing Eastern Europe to form an alliance with North America, as Eastern Europe wants Western Europe. The rest of the world lives in relative peace, as it's too hard to take anything over. North America thought they could get away with taking Iceland, however, they were unable to. So now we have a big war between North America and Eastern Europe, and Western Europe and South America. So basically, North America just shot themselves in the foot, as Eastern Europe isn't all too powerful. Yeah, however, due to the fact that North America is the aggressor in this war, they are obviously mobilized first. So they immediately take control of the entire Caribbean, which goes successfully. And a naval landing is made in Venezuela, causing the country to surrender, as well as the Guyanas. So now with North America having a strong foothold in South America, they're able to relax a little bit. However, Western Europe, due to the fact that they were the first in Europe to mobilize, they are able to quickly sweep into Finland and most of Eastern Europe, leaving really only Russia. in Eastern Europe, which is a bit harder, but still possible to take out. And they decide not to push into Russia. So now with Western Europe's forces split, the Northern Army in the North America, they have two armies, lands in Ireland. This is a good European foothold. So they have two armies. They have one in the south to fight South America and one in Europe to fight Europe. However, and Western Europe has two armies as well. But the much bigger one is in fighting Russia, and South America obviously only has one. The other thing that happens is North America, once again being the aggressor, they push into Colombia. Now this is a hard country to take over, as it's powerful and mountainous, but they do manage to take it. This big as now South America has just lost one of probably the second most powerful country. From here, they face a challenge though, as Western Europe is, well, they also managed to take Ecuador. But from here they face a challenge as South America started to mobilize, and Western Europe is really hard, like there's no room for them to go. They're in Ireland, and the only other place they can invade realistically is the UK, which is very hard, as a bunch of their navy is still in the west, because the navy isn't that important out in the east. So, it's bad. Russia really doesn't stand that much of a chance against Western Europe, however, as they're alone fighting against all of Europe. Basically, I'll just save some time here. Western Europe takes over all of Russia. Actually, that's not true. The Middle East, they form a temporary alliance with the Middle East, who basically takes all of Central Asia. This is only temporary though. This alliance is not permanent and does not affect the, this alliance is not permanent and will not last after this war. However, all of Russia does fall to the Western European team, as it's bad. This was expected though. Eastern Europe was never that powerful of a region besides Russia, which is powerful but not powerful enough to take out all of Europe. Great. Now Western Europe controls much of Western Europe as well as North Asia. And now North America is fighting along two fronts alone. So they quickly push along the South American coast, taking out Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia, and Chile. So their hope is to take out South America before European reinforcements are able to arrive, as that's their next goal. Currently they're in Eastern Europe. I'll be keeping track of them. They're now in about Poland. The army, also a bunch of the army here in Ireland escapes, as they realize they will probably be taken over relatively soon, and Ireland does fight back to Europe, Western Europe. However, the blue team, North America, manages to take out all of South America. This is big as, besides Brazil. Great. So now Western European troops have started arriving in Portugal, and from there they're going to be shipped to Brazil. So it's a race against time. Brazil, however, is a very strong nation with a lot of army, and most of the population's like here, I believe. So yeah, the north is undefended, however, as not many people live there. The Amazon basin quickly falls to North America, and From there, the rest of Brazil, the blue team takes naval superiority and does manage to cut off reinforcements arriving. They sink a bunch of ships in this area, and effectively Brazil can't really do anything. They are a very powerful country. However, they are fighting against the US and Mexico, and there's not really much they could do there. However, forces realizing that there's not much they could do in Western Europe to help Brazil, they use this advantage to take over Iceland and Greenland. Iceland they recaptured, and Greenland is a new addition. And they decide to sue for peace with North America, and basically, yeah, they kind of just leave the current borders they have. So North America gets to keep South America, however, Western Europe is able to take Greenland. Who won this war? Both sides. I'd say both sides. And that's how I'm going to end this video. Yeah, there you go.